This is why I am working on my inroads back home. As I came in wanting to invest. I came in almost about 30 years ago. And time is not on my side. I really have to be home. When I go home, I feel jealous just to see even one who doesn't have a lot of money, but there's life in them. They are happy in what they are doing. Here we've got this money that you built, but you're not content, you're not happy. So back home is where life is. That's why I want to go back home.
I think what you're saying is very important. Tell us what exactly we have in Africa that you are greatly missing as a son of the soil.
That's all I can say. And that's what everybody talks about. And there's something that the sun does to you. You wake up, right now it's dark and very gloomy. We're getting into the winter season. And when you get up in the morning and you open the curtain or the door, the sun, the ray of light that is there, and everybody says good morning to you when you meet people. You know, we have this culture where we're taught that young to they tend to greet the elders, and it's natural. Here everybody is well focused and they are trying to, they're not happy. You can literally see that people are not happy. The weather plays a very important part of, where how we live. And in Africa is blessed. This is why you would find that even our fellow friends literally are investing back. They have got a holiday home in Africa. Why do they have a holiday home? And we don't even think about it when we come into the diaspora. So we need to go back home. It gives me that pleasure when I get home just to see my people. They are happy, yet they don't know where their next meal is going to come from.
There's a lot going on for Africa indeed, and it's only when you're not at in the continent that you realize how much you can indeed miss home. Martin, of course, many people such as yourself, young people, travel to the West or to Europe or to the United States or to Australia to get a better living, to save up and reinvest back in their lives in Africa. I want to know from you, how important is the saving culture?
Well, the saving culture, I would say that we are not doing anything out of the extraordinary that our parents were doing, because I believe recall my grandma. If I was to go, she needed some money, she had a little hut where she kept where she kept things like nuts, ground nuts, and flour, you name it. She would go in there. We call it dura in our home. Mudura is where she would go, and she would come with the $20 from there. So the saving culture, we have always been saving, but it's, can we do it better? Rather than, one needs to understand that there is always a tomorrow. And tomorrow, with the way things are happening, you need to have a backup plan. You can't spend everything that you have. You've got to make sure that literally at times you would find that, I would say one thing that makes me laugh, I go back home at times and I literally see someone with the latest iPhone. And I'm thinking, gosh, you don't need an iPhone. I'm still okay with the iPhone 11 that does the work for me. So when you want to serve, you've got to make sure that some of these material things that are there, we don't need them. You don't need to buy a Gucci outfit. You don't need to buy a Louis Vuitton outfit. Why don't you see our fellow friends? You rarely see them wear these clothes and everything. So we need to start from there and make sure that whatever we are doing, when you are focused, there is always tomorrow. 10 years from now, you will look back and say, indeed, I went with one meal for a reason. This is why I am where I am. And every business entrepreneur, everyone who's trying to get there, it needs to believe that saving is the key to success in future.
Martin, When we talk about saving, because I know you have some banking experience, it's something that you did study. How can a person learn how to save? I think it's never too late to learn how to save. You know, we see different cultures. For example, we see the Chinese culture, we see the Indian culture. Children from these cultures are taught to learn to save early. What can we learn as Africans about the saving culture, and how can we start to save sooner?
One thing that I've seen, one thing that I've learned about, I would speak for the Indian culture. You have hit it right there. What they do is they teach their children what is money and the value of money. This is why we would say, oh, the Indians are very greedy. You don't see them with these flashy kind of bits of the things that everybody is. They don't just follow for the sake of following. They are taught the value of money and the reason why people get to work. It's all about saving. It's all about working. Are you in the correct working space? And at the same time, are you make living within your means? I think the whole point boils down to living within our means and understanding the value of money. I Zimbabwe, we are using a USD. The way a US dollar is abused in Zimbabwe, it's a shock to the system. You look at people and you say, you know what, the same dollar can buy a bread in America, but yet we are abusing it, and that money seems not to be enough. So the culture of serving starts from when we are young. Our parents, they need to, or as young parents, we need to teach our children the value of money. That if I give you $1, within are you able to budget? Saving comes with budgeting as well. You need to be able to budget so that that money can stretch. Our parents managed to do that. This is why they sent us to school from as little as, what we are not earning, a quarter or must be less, but they were able to send us to school because they understood, they got to that pinnacle of understanding that serving is important and we need it for the rainy day.
Very, very good tip. The issue that you must, as a young parent or as parents, we must teach our children how to save. It has to start at the youngest generation possible. And I think in the past, we used to have what we call piggy banks. And I think you can use that for your child this morning if you're watching it and you're a young parent. I think you can, because good habits, when they're learned early in life, stay on for you for the rest of your life. You can buy them a small piggy bank and show them the value of money and how to save at least one coin per day. Martin, we're going for a quick commercial break, but before we go for the break, Martin, I just wanted to ask you, you told us that you went to the United Kingdom 30 years ago. That indeed is a long time ago. Why did you go to the United Kingdom 30 years ago, Martin?
I left because I had gone to study, and there were economic opportunities that I felt that I could gain. There's one thing, you spoke about traveling. One thing that I've realized is travel opens up your mindset. Even, Jane, just to leave Uganda and you go to Nairobi, you learn something. They are different cultures, they do different things. You interact with people from a different space, and then you tend to appreciate where you come from. Traveling allows you to see other living conditions. I would say I've gone back home with my kids, and here we abuse food. They throw away food and everything. And every time I've noticed that when they come back from Africa, they eat only, or they put what they can finish on a plate. Gradually, it fades away. But you see, without traveling back home to see that other people, they go to sleep without a meal, they would never know that. Traveling, you connect with people. It's all about, we live in a global village now. There's connectivity that needs to happen. Even if you were to get business ideas, you have to meet I wouldn't say important people, but strategically placed people. You meet them on a flight, you meet them on a bus. It just depends on how you position yourself. So leaving home was a great opportunity for me to see things outside the box and to learn the value of life, appreciate what my home has got, what Africa has got as a continent and as a people, and what other people are doing there. There's growth in what they are doing. Are we able to tap into the technological side of things and bring it back home, which is what is happening in farming, in hospitality, in medical sector? There is always something that you learn when you travel.
Martin's talking about his experience traveling to the United Kingdom, being there for 30 years and saving to go back home to Zimbabwe and reinvest back on the continent. Today we're talking about the saving culture, how important it is for you to save and how important it is for you to teach your children how to save at an early age. You're tuned into Smart24 television, where we believe in driving business. For those of you who are joining us from West Africa, from East Africa, from parts of South Africa, and from part of Northern Africa and Central Africa, you're most welcome. We'll be back after this short break.